Good morning, I'm Tim Spears. Thank you so much for joining us this Sunday. Two tragic stories we're following today. Two separate mass shootings leaving dozens of people dead. Our crews are in Ohio. We'll hear more from them later in the hour when they reach downtown Dayton. But first, we want to head to our reporter in Texas. Annette Garcia is in El Paso, and she spent the morning talking to community members throughout the area around law enforcement. And Annette, what's the update?
And this morning we are waiting to find out more, to hear more from authorities on that investigation that continues inside the Walmart and outside of the property here. We've seen law enforcement from across the country beginning to arrive here. Many members of federal law enforcement that are offering help to both local and state law enforcement as they continue their investigation. And we can see over in the parking lot of this Walmart that things seem to have stood still. The car's still here, just a sign of how many people were inside that store. Many of those people shopping for back to school supplies, some of whom did not go home. And here, closer to where we are standing this morning, we saw someone drop off flowers, the beginning of a memorial that I'm sure will be growing throughout the day. Now, we do know, like we've been reporting, that the suspect turned himself in when he was confronted by police right after the shooting yesterday morning. Police also saying he was speaking with authorities, and reports indicate the suspect posted an online manifesto speaking about his hatred for immigrants. The suspect driving from Allen, Texas, north of Dallas, 9 hours all the way to El Paso to open fire and kill. Again, 20 people dead, 26 injured. And people here are saying, what if my family was inside? We spoke with one man overnight who said his family was here at the same time the day before. He said his heart hurts for the families of those murdered and injured.
It's hard. Just God bless them, and that's all I can say. I'm in shock too. I didn't expect this. I have my brother here working the East Side Terminal, and I told my brother it's crazy.
And despite so much heartbreak, we've seen such an outpouring of support. People coming here to say thank you to law enforcement. Everyone from a mother and daughter who brought coffee to law enforcement here to a group of truck drivers who came by to drop off food. They are all saying this community needs to come together right now. All they can hope for is healing. We will continue our coverage from El Paso, bringing you the latest information and also telling you the stories of the people in this community who are now waking up without family members, without friends and loved ones. And people here say the hardest part will be when they find out the people who have died, more about them. When they see their faces, when they hear their names, that will be the most difficult part of this entire situation. Stay with us. We'll continue our coverage throughout the day. In El Paso, Annette Garcia, Spectrum News.
All right, thank you so much, Annette. And we'll be hearing from our reporters in Ohio to hear about that situation as it's unfolding. For now, Christian Henson is here with me to talk about what's happening in Dayton.
Well, like it was in El Paso, the sun is coming up. There's a lot more activity out on the scene because this all happened overnight. It was around 1 o'clock in the morning. It was on an area called East 5th Street. It's a really popular bar and restaurant area in Dayton, so there were a lot of people still out at that time. And that's when Dayton police say that the shooter fired multiple rounds out of a long gun into those crowds, killing 9 people and injuring 16 others. Officers patrolling the area responded to the shooting, killing the suspected shooter, who Montgomery County Emergency Services spokeswoman Deb Decker said was wearing body armor. Dayton's Mayor Nan Whaley is offering support for the victims and the law enforcement officers who are handling this investigation.
As a mayor, this is a day that we all dread happening, and certainly what's very sad is I've gotten messages from cities across the country is that so many of us have gone through it. Today is the 250th mass shooting in America. It's sad that it's in the city of Dayton.
The shooter has not been identified at this time, and police said they're still trying to figure out a motive for the shooting. The shooting victims were taken to different hospitals across the Dayton area, and it's unclear how many of those injuries are critical at this time. In the studio, Christian Henson, Spectrum News.
All right, thank you so much, Christian, and we'll have more on these terrible situations as the day unfolds. You can follow along right here or use the Spectrum TV app to stream us live.